Welcome to the very first episode of the Hilton Head Island Cast, a podcast dedicated to the many things to do, see, eat, and hear on Hilton Head Island. Brought to you by Palmyra Vacation Club. I'm your host, Mandy Rosenberry. I've lived in the Low Country almost all of my life and love this island. The 4 years my family and I lived away, the smell of the salt air, the sound of the waves at the beach, all the friendly people, and the food called us until we finally moved back. Driving over the bridge to the island is almost intoxicating. Join me as we dive into all the wonderful things you can experience here on Hilton Head Island. Today, my favorite guest ever, Chris, will join me to discuss our top 5 things we love about Hilton Head. Full disclosure, he is my husband, and we love to make top 5 lists of everything. Most of all, when we are on long road trips. Wouldn't it be great if you listened to these podcasts on your way to your vacation on Hilton Head Island? Then we'll be joined by our dear friend Nick Poulin while he plays some music for us. I'm your host, Mandy Rosenberry, and today I am joined by my husband, Chris Rosenberry.
Hello!
And we are going to give you our favorite thing. We love to do top 5s. That's how we keep ourselves awake on long car trips and any other super boring time. So we're going to give you our top 5 things about Hilton Head Island.
This is going to be super fun.
It's going to be great. And
I'm only going to say super fun 3 times.
I'm going to keep a tally here.
Okay.
And you're going to owe me dinner somewhere.
Okay.
If you go
Someplace
over
good.
like 10, yes.
Ooh, can we do... Well, if you say that too much, I'll just start saying super fun just so we can go to dinner. Because, like, Holy Tequila is right there.
Okay. So I'm a gracious host, and I'm going to allow you to go first and give us your first item, and we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
So what have you got?
Okay. So my first one, I haven't put them in order, which I should have done, but I just stream of consciousness and then. Okay. So, but here's my first one. So my first one is the view from the top of the Cross Island Bridge.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah. I recently started biking to work, and part of that route is to go over the Cross Island, and it is a feat. It takes a ton of effort. Either way, it doesn't matter to actually get your bicycle up that bridge. Especially without walking it. And I set myself a goal, like I'm not gonna walk, and I'm downshift all the way to like first gear, and I'm doing 2 miles an hour, but I'm still pedaling. But so when I get to the top of the Cross Island, then I can take a break.
Okay.
And I can have a drink of water, Gatorade, whatever, and just take a look. And it doesn't matter which side you're on, if you're southbound or northbound.
Equally as beautiful.
It's just incredible, So you feel like you've really achieved something. I feel like Rocky Balboa at the top of the stairs, at the art museum. And which I should just hum that to myself as I'm trying to climb.
That may boost you up a little bit.
I might go a little faster, but it's just gorgeous. It's marsh and water and boats, and you can see people jet skiing or kayaking or paddleboarding, and it's just quintessential Hilton Head, and it's a lot safer than trying to see that same site from the island bridge, because
do not ride your bike over the island bridge. No,
because the shoulder on the bridge coming onto the island is about 2 feet wide, but the shoulder on the Cross Island Bridge is actually a bike path.
Okay.
It's 10 feet wide, so it's plenty safe as long as you are going with the flow of traffic.
Good tips.
There are signs that tell you not to go against traffic. So anyway, I think everybody should do it. Whether you have to crawl or run or walk or bike up the bridge, you should definitely check out the view from the top of the Cross Island. So that's my number 1.
That is a good one and very active.
Yes.
All right. Well,
I get lots of that.
For real. So my first one is visiting historical landmarks.
That's a good one.
There are so many here on this island, and I have lived here for 10 years, and there's still some that I don't really know about even, so I'm trying to dig deeper and find them. But there are the shell rings from Native Americans. There are the first freed slaves camp. in Mitchellville with the Native Islanders, there's an old fort where they fought battles from the Civil War.
Yeah.
There's stuff all over, and just over into Bluffton, there's all kinds of stuff too. So the history here is incredible. And lots of it is in the shade. The tabby, the walls made of shell from old houses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so great. I love it.
It's super cool. Now listen, I went to high school here in Hilton Head. And I did not learn this. I learned this because you learned this.
True.
Right? And it's probably not the school's fault. We're not
blaming any of that.
Hilton Head High School under the bus.
No.
But that Harriet Tubman was here.
Yes, she was.
Now, I was under the impression that she was running the Underground Railroad through Hilton Head. But
she may have been.
She may have been. But it has not been confirmed.
She definitely was doing work with the Union Army.
Okay. So she was here.
She even possibly led a raid on the Combahee River.
Wow.
And she did all kinds of stuff here. So
this lady is amazing.
She is amazing.
She is amazing. There's a reason we're still talking about her.
Absolutely.
So much. So many years later. So anyway, I just think that's super cool. Harriet Tubman,
I know,
was here on Hilton Head.
It's incredible.
It's so cool.
Wait, I have take my son around and find all the little historical markers on the side of the road. There are some that are right next to baseball fields. Mm-hmm. Seems a little, not really sacrilegious, but there are like the footings of plantation houses, and it's really incredible. There's all kinds of stuff here. So you can spend lots of time doing that.
That's fantastic.
All right, Chris, what is your number 2?
Number 2. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Okay, so this is going to tie in to number 1.
Okay.
And this is the endless amount of bike trails.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
it's getting better all the time.
It is. It's getting better all the time. Okay, no singing. I promised I wouldn't sing.
Don't sing.
Okay. But yeah, and actually in one of our upcoming episodes, we're going to have somebody on who has all kinds of knowledge about the bike trails and biking here on Hilton Head, and that's going to be super cool. So you have to check out that episode. But for me, like biking across the Cross Island is super cool. But I was training for a marathon.
Right.
I ran the Disney Marathon.
Woo!
It was awesome. And we have a marathon here on the island in February. But you can train for a marathon and have multiple routes and never see the same spot twice.
Right.
It's fantastic. And you can, if you want to, ride your bike or run from one end of the island to the other. You can stop
all the way around the foot.
Yep, all the way. And you can stop for lunch or to pass out or whatever. But you can make it. And the town's been really great. Like, they just continue to add more and more bike paths along 278. They've got the Cross Island, Spanish Wells Road, and then in all the plantations there's bike paths. And it's, it's really great because, in other towns, like, you have sidewalks, but it can be dangerous, and sometimes you're riding on the road or running with traffic, and that's not safe. But to here, people take it really seriously that you can just go kind of anywhere you want on a bicycle.
That's right.
So yeah, that is awesome, and it's great for exploring. It was super cool when I was a kid.
I gotta say, I love, especially right now in high tourist season, seeing the families with like 5 or 6 bikes together, and they got the kids on the little extension,
right.
riding all over the island, and I just love it. There's so much to do together as a family on that.
That's awesome. So that's my number 2, bike paths.
All right, bike paths. That's such a good one. All right, my number 2 is something very near and dear to my heart. Food, glorious food. That's
why I have all the activities because of that.
You got to find some balance there, right? So there are more options than you could possibly think of here on this island for all price points, all cuisines, we have just crazy amounts of delicious restaurants. And we have some that have been here for a really long time that don't from the outside look like they would be anything super special. But oh, sweet goodness, when you get inside, that food is so awesome. And then there are really great, excellent, fare that would be French or all over, and there's fresh seafood here. We're right by the ocean, so you can even see at some places the boats coming in with the nets. So it is incredible. There is so much to eat.
Awesome.
You could have a new restaurant every night for dinner for months and months and months, which if I could do would be my preferred thing. So no cooking and no dishes in the evening. So
yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, but and it's great because so many of them are like local restaurants.
Right. There are some chain restaurants and nationally popular, but we have so many local things.
Right. Yeah, the local stuff is just is so much better too, I think, but I'm kind of a purist, and you can go to McDonald's if you want, but there's just the best stuff.
It's so good.
And I name dropped earlier Holy Tequila, and oh sweet Lord.
It's good.
It is aptly named. Mm-hmm. It is almost a religious experience.
That is very true.
Very true. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that one.
All right. Well, let's have your number 3.
Oh goodness. Okay, number 3. Now number 3 is a little bit more romantic.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm a little softy, and not just because I eat a lot. But so my number 3 is is going to the beach at night and seeing the stars.
Oh, man.
Hilton Head does this great job of combating light pollution, which if you don't know what that means is if you go into cities or towns, there's all kinds of lights on from businesses and cars and street lights and all this stuff that you can't actually see the stars or the sky. It just looks like a haze of light. But Hilton Head works really hard to keep the light to a minimum at night, which makes it hard to find places if you don't know where you're going. I get that,
but it's worth it.
But
bear with it.
Yeah. So if you go out to the beach, doesn't matter which beach, you can look up and you can just see millions and millions and millions of stars, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I prefer to do it with a pizza.
Oh, that is so good. Yeah. Yes.
You just sit there, have a good pizza. And we're going to talk a lot about food, aren't we?
I have a feeling this may be something we do.
But I think, go to the beach, have a pizza, listen to the waves, and stare at the stars. And it's just, and oh my goodness, it's something absolutely everybody should do. And it's free.
And it's really a great place when we have events like the meteor showers,
right.
The supermoons,
right.
Eclipses.
Yeah.
You can do it all right there.
Right, and at one point you could even see a shuttle launch.
Yes,
right?
And they are still launching things, just not shuttles.
Right. So it's rare.
Right, but you can do it.
Right. And
just one word of caution, personal experience here. Mm-hmm. Wear some flip-flops.
Yes, don't go barefoot.
Do not let your children run barefoot on the beach at night. There may be an emergency room visit in your future. So that definitely happened. All right, well that is really good and super romantic.
Yeah, you know me.
All right, well my number 3 is the quiet nature.
That's nice.
There are lots of nature preserves and places to do little trails in and out of the plantations. And even if the island is at maximum capacity, which I don't really know what that is, it's just a thing.
It just means there's lots of cars at the circle.
Right, that's what that means. It's still quiet and peaceful. Mm-hmm. So it's just beautiful to go back in there now. Possibly bring some bug spray with you, but it is fantastic, and they have little benches in them, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's a good one.
I love nature.
Nature, well, you're in the right place.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, nature, so let's have your number 4, Chris.
Okay, so my number 4 kind of piggybacks on your number 3.
Okay.
And we had a blog post about this.
Oh.
So we'll have that on the site. You can check that out on the site. But it's the wildlife here on Hilton Head.
And it is wild.
It is wild. And some of it is just gorgeous, and some of it is potentially dangerous. But it's all very unique. And, as locals, we kind of take it for granted. But, we just have the coolest animals here that you see just walking around. There's alligators, which you don't approach or feed or provoke, but they just hang out and sun themselves, and they're super cool looking, and they don't hurt anybody as long as you don't bother them. And we've got sea turtles that come up at night and lay eggs, and which is that's just so cool to think about, that there are sea turtles hatching. So don't walk on the dunes at the beach, because there are sea turtle nests in the dunes, and you want to protect those. So that's another nice little public service announcement. We have plenty of those for you. Mm-hmm. There's just beautiful birds like egrets and
blue herons.
Yeah, and so there's awesome birds and dolphins. We've got dolphins, and this is another one. Now, I was under the impression that Hilton Head was the only place in the world that our dolphins do strand feeding, which what that means is that they swim at the fish they're trying to catch and force them up onto the beach, and then they themselves beach themselves and eat the fish and then shimmy back into the water.
Correct.
But it does happen in other places, but it's still kind of just
all here in the Low Country
area, right?
Right.
So kind of somewhat in Georgia up to Kiowa, but really, like this is the spot for it,
right?
So I'm sure there's like one weird dolphin in South America that does this, and everybody looks at him. All the other dolphins look at him like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I went on vacation to Hilton Head, and this is how they do it, and I wanted to bring a piece of Hilton Head back."
That's a smart dolphin.
Because that's what we all do, right? We all want to bring some piece of Hilton Head back with us. So there's some dolphin in South America somewhere doing this. But yeah, so the wildlife here is really great. And I'll tell you a quick story. When I was running one day, and I talk a lot about running and biking, and because
and eating.
Yeah, and eating.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's a balance, is what it is.
Good call.
Yeah. So I was a couple miles into this run, and I come around the corner, and there, sitting on the bank, sunning themselves, are two gigantic alligators. They were dinosaur-sized.
Monster crocs.
Monster crocs, right? Yeah, like this is like horror movie size.
Something we're going to see on Animal Planet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like there wasn't enough land mass for them because they were just enormous. And it scared me because they were only like 20 feet away, and I'm just tooling along, and huffing and puffing, and then all of a sudden I come, it's like a cartoon, I come to like a screeching halt, and then have to backpedal and run the other direction, and I was able to kind of like go around to put some more distance between the gators and me, and take a picture, but they were just enormous, so, and they were just there, sunning themselves, having a good time. It was a beautiful day in paradise, and they were enjoying it, and they weren't hurting anybody because nobody was, provoking them, but it was a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yep, absolutely.
So that was I wouldn't call it a close scare, a close encounter, but it was close enough for me. Because I know, keep my distance.
Right. Well, you grew up here, so you know that well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 4 would be a little bit of a piggyback on number 3, that we have beauty all year long in nature. No matter what the season, there is gorgeous views, beautiful plants blooming, foliage, just everywhere. It smells glorious outside different times of the year. Oh, it's so good. Nature is one of my, love languages, you could say. So I feel restored and just... Oh man, at the very beginning of the summer when things are just starting to turn really green and it's hot, maybe just for the first time, and you can hear all the bugs. Oh, it's awesome. I love it. So, but all summer it's gorgeous. In the fall, it's beautiful. In the winter, we don't really get snow, so you can still do all of your activities outside. Maybe you don't want to swim in the water at the beach when it's 50 degrees outside, but there's so much to do. You can.
You could do the
polar bear plunge.
The Hilton Head polar bear plunge, which I realize
I've done it.
For people in Chicago or in Canada,
we're wimps.
Yeah. But, there's still something to be said for running into the ocean on New Year's Day.
It's true.
Yeah. And it's fun.
Anyways, so there's something to do all year that's beautiful in nature.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, and your final one, Chris. What have you got for us?
Number 5 is people watching.
What?
Yeah, now I know. It sounds a little creepy. I don't
Okay,
mean
tell me how it's not.
Okay, it's not creepy. Okay. It's like an amusement park or a theme park. You go and you sit and you can kind of like watch the families and watch people like enjoying themselves, and because people around here are enjoying themselves.
They are.
People here are on vacation. They're having a good time. Some people are just enjoying the fact that they live in paradise. Whatever. But I love it because you can just sit in one spot, like in Harbortown or Coligny or someplace like that, and even in like a restaurant, and just kind of watch the like beautiful rainbow of people, whether you have vacationers from Ohio or from Canada, and they're with their families and having a good time and kind of like in awe of everything, or you have the locals. There's people who they can trace their family back before the Civil War. The local, those are like the real locals.
The Native Islanders.
The Native Islanders. There's people from all over the world that come. And, some of them just come to like work a summer and hang out and enjoy, working and living in this beautiful place.
It is beautiful.
There's people like from Jamaica and just kind of like there's all kinds of different people here on our tiny little island. And I love it. I think it's just a beautifully diverse area.
All right, I'm not creeped out by that anymore.
Okay, it's not
good
creepy,
job. It's not creepy.
There's probably a better way to say it, but that's
we'll go with that.
That's the best I could come up with. So,
all right, I'll take it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, and this is the last one now, right?
This is my last one.
5. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
The water.
Oh yeah.
There, you have your choice of many different options here. Do you want to go to the beach? Do you want to go to the pool? Do you want to go out on the boat? Do you want to book an excursion on a kayak? Do you want to take, some kind of a jet ski trip out? There's just many options, and what's great about that is there's an option for every stage of life, whether you have little kids, big kids. Personally, I never wanted to go to the beach with my kids when they were all under about 6 years old.
Yeah.
Because you carry about 40 pounds of their stuff down to the beach, and then when it's time to leave, you're carrying them and the 40 pounds of stuff back to the car. So, and they're all tired and spent and crying, and you are crying by the time you get to the car. So, it was not my favorite time, but now my kids are older. They can just literally grab a towel and a book, and we go to the beach, and it's great. You just pop up a chair and an umbrella, and we can stay there all day. It's wonderful. The pools are great all over. We love to go to the pool in the evening after we've had a little bit of dinner and just stay until the sun goes down, and then head home, and the kids sleep good. It's so awesome. Yep. But and the water around here is so beautiful. You can see dolphins so many times when you're out on a boat. There's just everything. I took a moonlit kayak trip one night. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a full moon kayak trip. That was it. The water was super high. Oh, it was just beautiful on the water and peaceful. Obviously, I have a theme here. But anyway, so your water options here are magnificent.
Yeah, absolutely endless. Boating, wakeboarding.
No, I'm going to let you have that.
Yeah, I like the wakeboarding.
Nope.
Yeah. Gosh, you're right, though. There's an endless amount of activities you can do just on the water, let alone all the other stuff.
Right. That's great.
That is a good one to end on.
I
especially because, it's an island.
So,
and we're surrounded by water. That's the definition of
yes,
an island.
That is.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you for sharing your top 5 with us. We are going to take a break, and we will be right back. Well, now we are joined by our friend Nick Poulin, who is a part of Pretty Darn and other local acts around here in town. Nick, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
How long have you been here on the island?
I I grew up here from, I guess I did some moving around when I was, not even one, but I've been here since I can remember.
Awesome. So you are a local. Do you have the t-shirt?
I don't have a Piggly Wiggly t-shirt. That almost counts. Right?
That definitely counts. Okay. All right. How long have you been playing music?
I guess since about 9th grade, and I'm 21 now, so however many years that is, like probably 5, 7. I'm gonna say 7.
All right, we'll go there. We'll go with that. All right. And what are you gonna play for us first?
It's an original song. It's called January Type.
Awesome.
It is one that y'all haven't even heard yet. So that's cool. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's hear it.
It's sort of been running, 'cause I don't know what I'll go where it's wrong. I got corners I'm cutting. As soon as they cut, it feels like I'll conform. The question is, who are you? Will I see you? Yes, I will. 'Cause I'm not January type now, can't you tell? So you I'll find a job to leave this California hotel. Oh well. I was there to done nothing so long. It's not how I was born. Asking these kind of questions, won't admit it, but I feel like I am constantly being warned. But my question is, who are you? Will I see you? Hopefully, if I'm not January type, well, soon we'll see. If the motivation is based on time, how long will it take to find me? What if I make answers? What if I can control where I go this year? The calendar could save me. I don't have to let old habits interfere. Yeah. Oh,
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was great. All right, well, Nick, tell us where people can find you on Hilton Head to listen to your excellent music.
I have standing gigs throughout the summertime. Fridays at Enchiladas, 6:30 or 7 o'clock, around there. It'll get later as the summertime goes on. I have Tuesdays at One Hot Mama's, usually around 6:30, same time. And that's about it. Those are my 2 standing gigs, but I sort of get around Hilton Head Bluffton the other days of the week and fill my time up.
Awesome. Is there a website, Facebook page, Twitter, something that they can find you at?
Yes, facebook.com/nofoolinpoolin.
Awesome.
That's, No Foolin' Poolin'. Poulin.
Awesome. All right, well, do you have another song for us?
I sure do, yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. This song is called The Lows. I hope I can make you proud and mean what I said you down. like the way things were before. Suddenly settled into not letting life begin and doing nothing worth rewarding. Every time I try to find my way, I feel so. Stumble out the gate. Now I'm asking myself, if I do alone, I'll take that time. Oh, girl, they're killing me slow, but it feels alright. Yeah. 'Cause lately I'm set and holding regret and rambling on till I die. Wish I could get it right. Get on a plane tonight and make it happen for us all. But right now I'm stuck in here, in between doubt and fear, and anything that helps me stall. Yeah. And every time I try to find my way after a show, I was in the lake. Now I'm asking myself, if I do the longest, I'll take the time. 'Cause they're killing me slow, but it feels alright. 'Cause lately I'm set on holding regret and rambling on till I die. Rambling on, yeah. Rambling on, yeah. If I do the lows, I'll take the time. 'Cause they're killing me slow, but I feel alright. Oh, if I do the lows, I'll take that time. 'Cause they're killing me slow, but it feels alright. Lately I'm set and holding regret and rambling on till I die. 'Cause lately I'm set and holding regret and rambling on till I die.
Man, that is awesome. All right, Nick, tell me what your influences are.
Definitely John Mayer, Jack Johnson. Those sound pretty generic, but I listened to a lot of Trevor Hall too growing up. He is a local guy. Grew up right here on Hilton Head, so I sort of respect, how big he's gotten. It's pretty cool when he comes back in town. But I play a lot of his music. I guess those main three.
Awesome. Yeah. Tell me the story of how Pretty Darn came together.
Well, I have honestly been skipping around. Haven't had a set group or even person that I've collaborated with consistently. And this guy, his name's Kyle Wareham. He moved down here from Pennsylvania end of last year, and we just sort of had really similar styles, and it was really cool how it worked out because we just started as friends, which I think is a cooler way of going about it, and figured out we liked a lot of the same stuff and started jamming. And then we're standing in his kitchen one night reading names for what we could call ourselves if we're going to play around the island, and he was reading the back of some can of soup or something. It's pretty darn satisfying, and we were like, that's perfect. So we went with that, and yeah, we've been playing as much as we can, getting tighter and tighter, and I'm excited for what's going to happen because he's still new to the area, and it's exciting to see him sort of get into it. And it's funny because he's 30, I'm 21, and I'm sort of, I wouldn't call myself a veteran or anything, but I've done the whole island playing.
You've done it
2 or 3 times a day throughout the summertime, 3 years in a row, which you guys have been down here for 20, and he's sort of coming into it, and I'm sort of showing him the ropes, but he's been there, done that, toured around, and had his fun, but we're in opposite directions, but it's funny because our music is really similar, so it's great.
That is awesome. If you had one secret tip or place that people needed to go for the island, what would it be?
I go to Pinckney Island a lot. It's right in between the bridges going from Hilton Head to Bluffton, and some of you probably know about it. A lot of you probably don't, but it's just a really cool, huge place if you want to get out for the day and walk for miles and miles and miles and just sort of get away from everybody. It's a cool spot.
Awesome. It is beautiful. Excellent. Well, Nick Poulin, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to put your link to all your information on our page, and we will point everyone right to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
You guys.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Make sure you visit our website at hiltonheadislandcast.com to find all the links for the musicians and guests you've heard on our show. We love to hear from our listeners. If you have any questions about the area, ideas for another episode, or have something you want to share about Hilton Head, send me an email. The address is mandy@hiltonheadislandcast.com. I may even read it on one of our upcoming episodes. If you want to know how vacationing on Hilton Head Island was meant to be, visit palmeravacationclub.com. They will show you how to do it right. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Join us next time as we dive into more great things about our beautiful island.
Hey, little girl, why can't you sleep? Split into hemispheres, that's where